results you are finding there corresponds to the one that you found on the notice board. I know when the one in the portal is high and the one on the notice board is low, you no go. But in the situation whereby the one in the portal is low and the one on the notice board is high, I know the energy will come for us to go. So you go to the lecturer, then the lecturer will go through the original list or the one that he has. And if there are indeed errors or mistakes that needs to be corrected, the lecturer will make that correction through the head of department and it will be sent to SRO. We have stipulated some weeks. So there will be a week for level 100s, a week for level 200s, a week for level 300s, and a week for level 400s. For the level 400, as soon as they come to campus, they're supposed to have posted their results on the notice, but because of space and most of them were not on campus, they couldn't post. So I am also on management. As soon as they come, they post them on the notice board so that they also get to know their original or actual results. When you are called upon, please don't let us sit down and wait. If you have any challenge, go there. What we are seeing is that they are missing grades, change of grades, transpositional error. Let's say they want to put key in the grades and they miss one index number. You should know that since they have missed one index number, the rest will also have some mistakes on it. And there are some courses too that will appear in some semesters that you didn't take it. You take all this into consideration and correct all results. But the issue is that there's no shortcut way to correcting the results on the portal. And hence, a collective effort by all of us that when they give us the time limits, please let us go by it. Because if you don't go by it, it becomes so difficult to push again for another time to be given. So I can assure all students that by the time I leave office, if for nothing at all, issues on portal, I will not relent on that until every student see the actual reflection of their results in their portal. To the Honorable Simpa Hall President, His Excellency, your request is very well noted. I think the project committee chairperson is here and is listening. So if you did not make allocation to this, please take note and add it. Central Campus. Before the SRC can undertake any such activities, we have to write to the Vice Chancellor for approval. And approval comes with designated places or spaces they have given to us to provide these benches. Fortunately for us, that of Central Campus were captured. So with the designated spaces that the Vice Chancellor had given to us, we provide this realization center to them. And with the issue of contacting the president, the SRC usually communicates to the president on the various LA pages and sometimes by phone call. On the results issue, I must commend the president. We did this together. Maybe by the time we were calling, your phone was a bit off, or perhaps you couldn't hear it. Forgive us, next time you send somebody to come and give you official notice so that we go ahead. Thank you. Yes, on the document, if they are sensitive. Now, if somebody comes today to tell us that the SRC cloth, of which some amount was debited into our account, some 150,000 Ghana cedis into our account, so you have to come and pay that. If somebody should come and the person says that the cloth does not belong to UWSRC, I don't have any document to say, indeed, it belongs to us, except perhaps the bank statement. How was the contract awarded? We don't have any document to that. And I want to say on record that the SRC doesn't have any single document on any asset of the council. So it has been a word of mouth. Oh, this thing belongs to SRC. How? In previous years, the Goose Hostel was started by an SRC president. An SRC president came and sold it. How true is that? It is a hearsay. You come to the SRC office and appreciate some of these things. We have various files for various departments, for various correspondence with the VC, the registrar, the dean, everything. And even when students write to the SRC, we have various files when we reply them, everything is documented. I believe by the time you leave office, everything would have been in the right place for the next administration. Some of us will have to sacrifice. And this issue of borrowing into the next administration has started from Castro's time, when he had borrowed into Rubin's administration.
Time we won't be able to take a wide number of inputs on this, and we need to move on. So I will take only two, one from this side and one from the other side. Then when we get to maybe other matters you want to buttress on the point, I think you can do that. So I would like to take Honorable Member, then after that, I'll take my man in the crowd. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Still Madagascar, Kofi Wisdom, Mohammed. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President, for your concern about the food produce on campus. I want to know more about the food produce, how it will be constructed. Is it going to be in a wooden form again, or in a form that will not last? Because they will do it within a taken of an eye, it is gone. You have to invest in it again. So I want to know the mode of it. Thank you.
The Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency, I would still want to hold a bit on the portal issues. Especially, I would like to draw your attention that some of us, we sleep and wake up in the next day, we will get exchange in the portal. Even those that are mounted in the portal, I've been a victim. And I know you are not aware, I want to bring that to your notice, that your ultimate outfit should look into that. Now, moving on to page 3. Mr. Speaker, the President's donation to Special Education Department. I must thank you for that recognition that for the first time you have shown us some love. And to whom much is given, much is expected. What was given to our brother, I would have suggested that the wheelchair that we push should have been the one given to him, because it has the handstand and the leg stand. And you know, we carry them from down floor sometimes to the up floor. That machine is very heavy for we those who have them to carry them to the lectures. Now, I'll move on to page number 6. Issues on documentation. With documentation on the face of the paper, I've just tried to raise some caution. I have instilled the spirit of documentation in the SRC executives. And I would want to pray that such documentation shouldn't be only administrative records, but should contain developmental policies that the next administration will look into those and carry out our next activities. So that it wouldn't be that we will be that other administration in a well-respected institution like University of Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. So, Mr. President will have to these comments.
Thank you so much. On how the footbridges will be constructed. In fact, I remember I was living behind Aija, so I used the one here. When the Rubin-led administration constructed the footbridge, I was among those who were of the view that at least it should have been in the form of concrete. But later, I got to know that what I was saying could not have been done. Construction within the university premises, if approval is given, could be constructed in concrete. But outside the university premises belongs to some other individuals. So they cannot be permanent structures on such lands, unless, of course, we had gone to buy the land. So we cannot put any permanent structure on somebody's land. And you will have to bear with us that we have to still fall on the wooden bridges, so that tomorrow, if the person decides to come on his land and ask us to take them off, we will do that. That is how come every administration comes and it is still the wooden, not just because they don't want to use perhaps a lasting material, but because of the fact that these lands are not ours. The ones on the university campus. That is how come we have engaged the Vice Chancellor. If in the developmental plan of the university, those routes, because they are unapproved, do not have any plan structure there, then the university could give permission for a concrete structure to be put there. But if they have a plan structure there, I'm afraid you still have to resort to the wooden structure because the places are not the actual route to these facilities that we move to. The grade changing. Yes, I am aware of that, and that is how come we have asked the various lecturers to paste the original results on the notice board. I know there's no issue, like I said, when the one in the portal is higher than the one on the notice board. But there's an issue when the one in the portal is lower. That's one, I know there's an issue. So please let's take note of the actual result they have posted. Some lecturers were given permission to make corrections. So if it was a transpositional error, let's say they gave the number 2's grade to number 3, and they later go to correct it. Somebody's grade, which might have come to you, will go to the right person. And this could be some of the reasons. But let's keep calm since we know our results now. When the transcripts are printed and given out to us, you have something to despotize whatever that we have so that we have the actual results in our portal. Thank you. The wheelchair issue. Yes, I very much understand your concern. But you know, before the SRC will go ahead to donate a wheelchair to any individual, you first of all have to be in contact with that individual for the person to give us his or her preference. And that was the preference the user gave to us. And have no other option to provide to what the user has required of from the SRC. So please, we provided what he asked. And it wasn't the first time we are smiling to special need education. We have made some donation to some students who had issues with their accommodation at the special education. So this is not the first time. In fact, we have been helping the special education through the Special Needs Committee, the maiden committee by this administration. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. President, for your answers. And if you have no other information now, ask that you can resume your seat then.
Thank you so much, the Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much, Honorable House. I'm of the firm conviction that when cowboys unite, they can tie up a tiger. Let us come together to making UWSRC especially a better place to be. It is our university, and it is our responsibility, and the onus rests on us to lift high up a university to what we want it to be, and by the grace of God, we are going to get there one day, as we have started a good pace for the next and previous administration to follow. Thank you. I'm very grateful to serve you as the SRC President.
So, Mr. President, will you do us the honor by moving for the acceptance of the presidential message? Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I, Felix Donko, the SRC President for the 2021-2022 academic year, hereby moved for the acceptance of the presidential speech as a true working document of the Council.
Please take a second. Yes, Honorable Member.
I second the motion by the President that the document will be fully used as a working document for the House. I'd like to make this submission. Honorable Speaker, we respectfully acknowledge the presence of our dear observers. But when honorable members, I mean local assembly members, have submissions to make, you kindly look at them first before you go to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Well noted. So on this note, the presidential message has been moved and duly seconded, and therefore is accepted as a true document of this House. members, I think we've been sitting for some time now, and it will be prudent for us to stretch a little, walk around, and resume our seat. So on this note, I will ask one of us to move for recess, and we can just stretch and then return for the next session to continue. Thank you. So, can someone who has the honor by moving for recess? Honorable member. Seconded by honorable member. Thank you, honorable member. So on this note, the House will resume after 20. So it's now 1:41 p.m. and we'll be resuming to 1 p.m. Thank you. The House is on recess.
Executive members.
also whom I can call him in cover be I said watch our dry now we see no where Permuka Jumedia and ne ye de Ebremo. Nansia and China Investor of Education, Winneba, a year financial secretary or her addition for Sika so your photo on a da ano. And now day in the budget here or say a fee only you a dear box school for a woman or the boy home Ebra. Nessica a biabeto drop pet and addition for no start say yen I can move this car, moody day, moody say, succeed in painting one thing, you know, and yenya. Mr. Boniface, on a share addition for a one investor of education, is so MIA. Ya boy prino, yan better drink or budget here, or the quarto, early for no anymore. No, what I mean, Chichimu, na me names and Chichimu by my students no, on Betia say, another stone, any dear Emre, and a veteran chair on, Yaboko Mr. Boniface or 9 actually in common. The Boniface, and Macabadoba, Sakti, eso.
Okay, that's me.
So that's to say, if 2 years are afraid of chambers of immediately and combo. Young chairman, a year office, a financial secretary office, or they say, near me, say.
Oh, we are all. We are the outcome. Yeah, they will see which they are students.
And a young chairman, a year Nancy and himself, their budget be equal to early for any. You bet him up budget in Macra.
Sure.
And if I start, if I were a budget in young budgeting. A few main point or project this year for Investor of Education Univer, young project and if I fast our project, it's a honor, a honor so here.
Sure. So project we have production of souvenirs. When you say no the idea and now that we provide souvenirs for current students or maba. Because of schedules now a differ.
Sure.
What is the major any renovation of the swimming pool or South Campus, your construction of 3 summer huts, your lavish benches, and your lighting system.
Good. Young renovation of a swimming pool South Campus, 200,000, 2 billion.
2 billion.
Wow. How? How 2 billion?
No, maintaining maybe as
Sure.
because this is a budget.
Okay.
And a budget is an estimation. What is the matter?
Okay.
I do you know. Yamoma kwa survey.
Okay.
And then swimming pool in Kwan renovate.
Okay.
You buy environment, changing rooms near the other. And any other be a factor or swimming pool. And only in just a car renovating of swimming pool, swimming pool in Kwan and I don't know whether you know a swimming pool in Muba. Your feeling is why they are. What's the measure? It's a name of a and I was almost say 200,000 inch, there's 200,000 in this guy. So I said something in the budget say this is just an estimation, not the actual amount to be spent in the year.
Sure.
Seminia, so my budget idea amount, and I also will cook room. What's a senior ma okoto now? What budget is all Wakotoni ma baba go with amount of ABR? Yes, 50 cities. Oh, yeah, what you say? Oh, Kwakoto ABR, Akoko pound back, oh, say 10 cities and one budget. When you are now could do another year 7 cities. What the 10 cities in Bema almost say, me budget for 10 cities into money 10 cities, number 5 on the mammy. Never. Over to your 7 cities now, the 3 cities Nakasa back.
And a Sam Bomsona 20,000 waiting Marcos because say do our corner or budget for 10 cities, or course 12 cities. Okay.
Anything will be beat the supplementary budget.
Okay.
It's an honest there is one rule a war budget that we don't spend beyond. It's an honest and also what you do, baby. Then you come and sit down and analyze. So always give you more what's all the to us were. Also, we are supplementary budget. But I also almost say I don't know what you obey. I'm a no say a best. It's in our year. What's our money brosters because it's a budget. Say by ya won't spend the money broma won't watch you. But what spend the later? It's okay. You can leave the rest in the coffers. And no one says scanner down in his car where they who using it now. You know when you're there. Scanner we can't scanner. It's 1 year. We could factor by 50,000. we could factor 100,000. You do one and soon, you go first car in the eye.
Okay.
You discount fix one year for maybe. That was a Jawana. What I say, but you discount a next can be a car. Definitely, you pay your financial statement and you're my student. Over school, Minia, won't budget a early kissy that.
No.
Never. So this is transparency and you ever see a student you. What's the damage? Anything a budget na there. Your shares will be and shed your head. Echo or cancelling.
Construction of 3 summer hut. And also the budget in here.
The budget in here. Now 195,000. Which back could be 65,000. And a wow when it's here.
Yeah, expected like because of an amount, I think they expected the big currency school we had.
What did they mention? I say a BSc.
BSc.
A BSc.
Okay.
And a BSc. A bit in your case, but your factor say, yet me, mamma, you know, my summer heart near war, the back with your many 5 penalties.
Okay.
What near say as I say, is a class as we are wording, we see a few sooner tones for the more we know, so ye day, and met to us. What did they mention us? It's a chest summer heart, a bit me are containing the palm, ye day, or more doors. What did they mention us? Your baba, your survey. I just there say I don't have the figures. Say, we need construction for no more D&D by D&D. What did them do? Okay. Or my in idea go. So that's the estimate. There's a young budget for that estimation. A do a fine and do a fine. The rest of the money will be accountable. Okay. Yes, I have a money must have a reduction at the end of the tenure of our office now. This is the amount of the year. And it needs explanation. That's why members of the local assembly is around to ask questions. It's a non said the amount near the actual sky, ye in care our program and our project name. It's your part of your coherence can as one say. And also, Obekasi, I had any major. What did they make?
The problem I told the student in the one say, and yet can I show a home. You ever can't dear no, by yen ye. And only idea about Queen was our swimming pool once in my year came. Remember, I ever school, I say cash through, Eshes Arbon. Robin so then I'll be far and on the jar of coin. Then I branch as well, as one saw the kind of same swimming pool once. Into more GD said, Mama pants, some bit myself swimming pool.
GD or
Timon to me, and I didn't a student. Because swimming pool as me and that watch it.
Sure.
I think the president will be a Saint Castro, Madame Barmity, and Saint Castro will be a or make it promise of swimming pool. But in 2 amampo home, the scene there.
Sure.
But most more budget and so about the shame this.
Said the worker say a man for the cabo mate me. What is a man for no mobile? Or more the man for quantum quiz of it?
No,
it didn't happen. And in this school, you can't just stand up as a council or a sector now without the involvement of the management.
Sure.
What's the nature of that? Into year 2 1 among your quack you survey. Yes, survey, I ain't mean fact that's the 200,000 a year. It's near the BIN estimate. What's the nature of that? Your quack you survey. I cast some letters bring me the idea you go through. Oba local assembly, Nasi. Dear course, who be questions say, I don't know, President Cast will be one anyway. He gave the person an explanation, the entire won't mean. What is the matter? It won't mean ya. You bet me as a student who yampa dear over catch a student who ye we now actually when ye. It's a do one won't mean ya. The entire won't mean you make it known to the student. We are here for the student.
Sure.
What is the matter?
See, I'm coming in. I say more budget. I say.
Total amount
The African budget for
this. Are you talking about the estimated amount we are going to incur in our administration?
Sure.
And only 1,968,000 239.75.
Wow.
To which even Krano at the local assembly, you know, say we made some corrections,
Sure.
and the finance committee is on it. It can decrease, it can also increase.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
That's why we take the budget to the local assembly for rectification.
Okay.
So we are yet to rectify all the mistakes.
Okay.
Any suggestions are of course will local assembly. No?
Okay.
And that's it.
But I say you have more budget in your previous Rubin budget, and I think we know high chain Rubin there.
Many are
Rubin then or high chain.
when say I say, but the administration you compare administration. But as my make a chance say, when your budget need be.
Sure.
Correct your previous budget. Now you are day comparison. No sure you was the change will be.
Oh, okay.
What's the damage on us?
Okay.
Me that's it.
Yen chair on yes na abusuan for me come say ye University of Education we never adusuan for ne photo for na hote yen chen ye ne din kono so mi say na de wi a sika ne de ye gine bum e de ahye ya ta so say sika na wona ohwes mai wona ka say enhye ebe hye ye go sunu di enkomo Mr. Boniface ye hwe you tag strike no enya infect bi e wo mo like financial sector in fact be about
Financial sector.
yeah, because if you have school fees, paying of school fees, because some of the students they have a strike and all, I didn't go to your school fees.
Sure.
Those things and I'm any school fees because if your school fees and money be there the money.
Sure.
More say.
Okay. When you are the all kind of so okay. It a cost strike.
Sure.
And I'm cost strike answer the year school. I'm can say this say no more. Into no me could ya. Because my school my best school do at that time crowd can say time crowd the schools which that quite. I'm first can to no the any do one office. It is not about no see the said they were from especially continuous students. That's some more thing.
Correct.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a feature of SRC, no. It's a home say.
Feature of SRC.
Yeah.
Okay. So me can say 2021, 2022 there. I say the future is bright.
Okay.
Very, very bright. I hope say said the year happen see a day kono endu baby man titi munye de emma ni me bi nsei
titi mo timi ba mo side
oh nipa won adwuma na ye
okay
what dem me chon na eno nchire say obi timi ka bibi ma na shi obi emma nipa de fa na ho adwe e wo si ye hu say bibi ani a ye de ano ye de eka a chopa bitimi aye de ebem na se nipa ne bagi atumu no eya na ye de edi nti entity mu ye de eba ema adwuma ye de eya if not ye sector no kwa onim se sa de we e wo ba bia
sure indeed
sanity
Mr. Boniface yen chair hon I think say mo de budget be to dwa mo comment ni bi mo de titi bi
sure
wetin ahwe Canberra na message abesa the student of Uew for no what the wakama almost active
me da semenia budget ni be to dwa ne de ensem bebre na eba atemdidie ni ade eba yeti ase but what see you say you say a budget do you know the understanding of a budget actually just estimation of income and expenditure to be incurred in that specific year. It estimation ya make it and on say we are spending that money. I wanted to use some this thing I was working on as example. One sector brought a budget and was supposed to spend about something thousand.
okay
But when you say you tax strike, you need to know a month for a day. Students are not on campus.
yeah
But it's a more pioneer a few. Want me say or expecting ni padu do saying you know make us refresh or let me go and buy and one man can say me the more 5,000 because me can say me expecting 5,000 about the go or man dear and say what is the major? At long last, no, not just as Canon was spending by 1/10 of your budget here for. Where is the rest of the money, Minya? Where is it? And that's what Uew Src confess in him. It is one we say budget to Abontia. And for we won't do beating. Okay. And just estimation. See a call. Now I don't know ever former. Who see Canada so they head down. You really be yes, I be Baba ready financial statement amount. Say, when the cost, when the cost. Ebi Kaya, we will tell you. What did they make sure? Ain't you know, when in Chile say, scanning a day, what they say, said they making. We pay that SRC, you transfer school fees, and I wouldn't say, yeah, this can cram a SRC now, you're farmer. What did they make sure? Young first scanning ground, I obey them. It's a budget will be too when you say yes, scanning the amount, scanning one who says, yeah, you people are spending the money, which is not so. What did they make sure? 80 million, I did the attorney, activity are fine. But, me no, I did go, make I say,
is it any dream, man?
What I say, and I, me wa dibi awo me won so a obi ka che me and I me decide and so weki say asase no ye bebo odimboni
sure
but awieye no omu be hu say
oh ya de pa
what the make sure na say eti asase ne de saa na beba me ndi watem ubenya tamfoni ade but mu say ade na wo ya manipa ne awieye no ohun wa mane mfere ni mbo odimpa. What them John? At the end of the year, no, and now 4 years na me baby di wa. Say me we na me ko na me be shia wo sector bi na me hia adwuma wo. And after me ka say me nua na oboa me. Na mama fia wo school, ma baba be say wo sika wo school man. Are you sure say wo be boa me am me adwuma wo ba bi a wo na wo be boa me nua?
No.
O moa me. Enti na wo say me hu sade na me ye no. Me ya adepa. Me wo kina bi no wa bo me dimpa. What is the major on that? 8 million, Munya Botre. Namon share administration in the real and echo. At the end of the year, no, so Shani Anya Demia. That's we are because say, and Kofu by no, or Mube D. Sika, or Mube Ye say. What is the major unia? 8 million, Momaya Kumanya, the Emrafu. A budget, it doesn't mean you spend this kind. And no be answer can discover plan that's what your account to here. This money is not there. What did they make the minute? Anything school for now but them my or munyabotry. Never did that time a year adores. Oh, I did that time already a million or made ye papa or made
any miss of miss of information because say education and qua or being tears, business ya man pre one senka intuition more dear my. Moko early on but I don't know the money communication team because say okay just in the team communication team. Then baby say when I so much church my student and I say because where I can be because I don't how to billing for but you been wow so church no scan for money yet monsan can but obi se money scan in the communication na e content be free na ko na start no so some be na sa ne ma no mo to ho na mo because a hard ne a hard obi no boy so di mpa min Canada ye wa bonten ye dia soto for me tete ti se mo so mbe na sa yi no mo to ho ana mo a abusiafo na ye kam se damase wo abra ye ba ye Boniface ye University of Education ye ni na ye photo for ye sika na photo no o na ohreso e ma ye ebra ye bo print no wa me anu nsi bone ojitum se oni ebedi nkomo previous SRC phone na I think say SRC for we na or more open the media to my opinion sana mi hono omni tima omo kwan ma otimi ko bisa omo se obi o wa ka obo print ni ko ka se oni hwe ye de e kan nenso emre ebo print no wan hwe na on form ojitum because onim say ye se utrim pefe a nti amonku ono nim se ntrim pefe oni obi sika nti no ye go se dam ase but yes rom say bosha o ma hye yi ombetimi edi so amaye sɛ ne active de ka jom sɛ ye de ye ni no echini ba bia de ni bedi echire e wo bɔhye a ɔmo ahyɛ yi ye ni metena ye interview kwa e wa bra mfaso bia mfiri mu ma da bi da ye hyɛ mbɔ sɛ bɔhye ɔmo ahyɛ no tie dem ase na YouTube sɛ on subscribe to your YouTube channel subscribe my e wo Src like share e ma onua on so enya interview bi nhwe on so ontimi nhwe bi na fa o comment no hia ye pa say the comment no ye mo comment ne sa da mo comment no be ba o mo chen sa da be so mo kwahye ntie so mo fa comment no emra ye da obi bia ase e wo mra mo je e de hwe pai buka dwumadie na ye kra mo se nyame boa da se ne ye be se ahia usiafo ye makwa abade mo ba Src so se mo se Uew Src no se hu me ache me ko hin me ko ba bia ye se bo wache odwa ya na Uew Src no we pa mu ka ebremo nansinya nche na University of Education Winneba eye financial secretary or hwe adusuafo no sika sem so ye foto no ona eda ano na ode ne budget ya o se afi on be yusu e de abo school fo na ewom no ode bebo ye ho ebra na sika abinya beto odwa pe na adusuafo no start ye na ikeka mu diska mu de we ye de mu de ye say Src we de impenten mu antanti no ene yenya eye Mr Boniface ona ehwe adusuafo ewo University of Education yisika so emaye ya bo pri no ye ne betwetwe nkomo e wo budget ya wo de kwoto elefo no enimu na wetima me nchwetwemu na menim se nchwetwemu ne ba e ma student no on beti ase anasa still na ene de emre ene be twente nche ho no ye be ko Mr Boniface so na ene atwetwe ye nkomo no Mr Boniface ya makwa ba do ba Src eso
okay me da sinya
so that say ye to yensa e frɛ wo chamber so ye be de nkomo yan che hono eye office financial secretary mo office on say niam e ko say
bia wo ko bia da na ko ye de we see ya ye de abo student no
ene yan che hono eye nansia ne hu say wo de budget bi ekoto early for no ene ye betima ko budget mu kakra
sure
and if I start if I were budget na yan ko budget ni afimra main point one project this year for University of Education Winneba yanko project and if I fast our project if the one na e hono so hia pa
sure so project we have production of souvenirs when him say no dey ade a eda wodada obi aba we provide souvenirs for current students or maba because of schedules na e differ
sure
what the mention as any renovation of the swimming pool or South Campus, your construction of 3 summer huts, your lovers benches, and your lighting system.
Good. Young renovation of swimming pool South Campus, 200,000, 2 billion.
2 billion.
Wow. How? How okay. 2 billion?
No, no. Maybe
sure.
Because this is a budget.
Okay.
And a budget is an estimation. What is the measure? Okay. I do you know. Yamo makwa for survey.
Okay.
And then swimming pool in Kwan renovate.
Okay.
You buy environment in I can. You buy baby, you buy shelves. I'm a man for at now. I was here changing rooms in the idea. And I never be a factor or swimming pool. And non interest a car renovating of swimming pool nature there. Swimming pool in Kwan Eko. And I don't know whether you know a swimming pool in Muba. Your mother feelings why they are. What's the measure? It's a name of a and I was almost 200,000 inch letter, 200,000 yes, guy. So I said something in the budget say this is just an estimation. Not the actual amount to be spent in the year.
Sure.
So, so my budget is there amount, and I also will cook room. What's the senior ma who could now? What budget is all what could near my baby go?
The University of Education Winneba was established in September 1992 as a university college under the PNDC Law 322. On 14th May 2004, the University of Education Act at 672 was enacted to upgrade the state of the university. The university envisaged itself to be an internationally reputable institution for teacher education and research. The school has 3 main campuses, situated in Winneba, namely the North, South, and Central campus. This is the Tower of Excellence, located at the Central Administrative Campus of the University of Education, Winneba, North Campus. The monument was officially unveiled on Wednesday, 26 May 2021, during the special ceremony of the university to complement the beautiful Student Center edifice. The Tower of Excellence is a symbolic representation of what the university stands for. That is, excellence in teacher education delivery. The monument was designed and built by Mr. Victor Kotomi, Mr. Richard Osei Manuel, Mr. Percival Yurinchi Awuku, Mr. Michael Kwame Mante, Mr. Henry Belkon Osei, and Mr. Joseph Yakubu Chibina, who were then level 400 students in the Department of the Arts Education. The construction was done as their project work within a period of 51 days under the supervision of Dr. Theophilus Mensah and Mr. Cyril Senior. An up close with Dr. Theophilus Mensah revealed a detailed insight of the monument, where he talked about the design challenges that were faced in construction and his experience as a supervisor of the project.
In terms of the historical development of this monument, I think that somewhere 2021, thereabouts, there was a delegation from the planning unit and the development unit. They visited the Department of Art Education with this proposal of they wanting to construct a monument that gave at a glance, gave the true reflection of what UEW stood for. So they came with samples of what they had in mind. So they said they wanted something like a tower that would give the viewers, at a glance, the symbol that would give the impression of what UEW stood for. So they sold that idea to us, and then my then HOD, Dr. Rex Emisa, called me and then a senior colleague to have a discussion with the planning unit. So after the discussion, they gave us an idea of what they wanted. So after they left, we also sat down and then decided, based on the ideas that they gave us, we brainstormed to see what we could do that would satisfy the request that they brought. So student member committee, where these were level 300 students, and then we gave them this assignment that they were to use this exercise as their studio project. So we gave them the task to come up with ideas as to what, at a glance, would give audience the embodiment of what UEW stood for. So they came up with a lot of sketches for which the team had to sit again and then scrutinize them and then selected the final piece, which culminated into what you see there at the runabout. So in terms of the background, I think that this is how the whole idea concerning the Unity Monument was conceived. The vision and mission for UEW, I think UEW stands for excellence, and excellence in education delivery. That is the hallmark of UEW. So we're looking at a monument that would give anybody who comes across it, that essence of excellence. So basically, I think that is what informed the piece that you see there.
The Tower of Excellence is a 37 feet tall and 40 square feet wide structure, divided into 3 distinctive parts: a diamond-shaped base, the middle, and the top or crown. The diamond-shaped base represents steadfast love and signifies clarity. The middle has the sign UEW, and the top has a flame which stands for light that dispels the ignorance of darkness. There is an Edinkra symbol also embedded on it, signifying wisdom and knowledge. Dr. Tiflos Mensah went on to give a vivid description of the materials involved in building the monument and strength, as well as the meaning of the symbols embedded on each section.
Behind me is the Tower of Excellence, and the tower is in 3 sections. You have the base, the midsection, and then the upper part. Now, the base is made, or the idea behind the base is the diamond jewel. And then you have the iconic UEW initials at the midsection. And then if you go to the upper part, you have the Edinkra symbol in Tessier, which is one of the key emblems that you find in the logo of UEW. And then on top of it is the torch, which is also seen in the logo of UEW. So in summary, the monument is in 3 parts: the base, the midsection, and the upper part. Now, what informed the various components that you find in this monument is this. We were looking at something that would carry UEW, and looking around, realized that UEW, as one of its mission and vision, is to produce excellent teachers, excellence. So we're looking at a jewel that has that kind of excellence, and looking around, we realized that the diamond jewel gave us that perfect looking jewel that could be used as the base. So if you look at the base, it is shaped in a diamond. It comes in a diamond shape. So that is what informed the base. And then we couldn't have done this without the most popular initial, that is UEW, University of Education, Winneba. But if you go anywhere and you mention UEW, everybody knows that you're talking about University of Education, Winneba. So the UEW too had to come in. And then most importantly is our logo, which is made up of the Edinkra symbol in Tessier, which is a symbol of wisdom. So that is what makes up the upper part of the monument. And then you have the torch, which is seen in our logo. Now the torch symbolizes light, and the essence of having the torch in our logo is that the torch expels the ignorance of darkness. So we had to have these key components of the university logo, which is the torch, and then the Tessier, which is the symbol of wisdom, and then our iconic UEW initials, and then a very perfect looking base to carry this whole idea. So this is what informed what went into the designing of this monument. And it's a monument that is done in resin and fiber. Resin and fiber because we're thinking of a material that was easy to handle, but then also had that durability. So we opted for the resin and fiber instead of the normal cement that we are used to, because we are looking at a material that will stand the test of time. So we felt that the resin and fiber glass gave us that better option in terms of durability, in terms of ease of handling, and then in terms of quality. So that's how come we use the resin and fiber for the construction of this Tower of Excellence. Management was hoping that we would finish this work alongside the opening of the student center. So we had only 51 days to construct the. So the construction period took 51 days, and it was done in the studios. And the construction took 3 phases. The first was the construction of this whole thing in clay. Everything you see behind me was first done in clay. Then came the second phase where a mold of the clay work had to be taken. After that, we had to dig out all the clay and then cast the final piece in the resin and fiber. So the whole work was done in 3 phases. The clay stage, which is the modeling stage, the mold taking stage, and then the casting stage. After that, the whole thing was transported from the studios and then assembled at where we are now. The station that we all had was, a piece that would give the audience and then the general public, you know, an embodiment of what UEW stood for. And if you look at what is behind me, it gives you the sense of what UEW is all about, excellence. And if you look at the base, it gives you at a glance that feeling of excellence. So if you ask me, I would say that yes, indeed, the objective of presenting or having a monument that gave that true embodiment of what UEW stood for had been achieved in the monument. And it is not only my view. If during the installation, all those who came around and then all those who witnessed or who have come across the piece, you know, attest to the fact that this gives, you know, a summary of what UEW is all about, which is excellence. Well, in terms of difficulty, I would say that one had to do with the size and getting the space to do it. Ideally, this should have been done in the our studios in the department, but looking at the height and then the size, we were not having that space. So eventually it had to be done in my studio. Aside that, when everything was said and done, conveying the work from the studio to site and then fixing it on site was also a challenge, because if you look at the size, at a point we had to call in the crane to come and help us lift and then secure the work properly. So these are some of the few challenges that we faced during the construction of the monument. The purpose for undertaking this exercise has really served this cause, because it's one of its kind. I don't think that I'm yet to see a monument of this size in any of our public universities. And I believe that, you know, having installed this year, you know, from the comments from visitors from other universities, they also wish that they have some of these monuments on their campuses. So I think that indeed it has really served its purpose.
Speaking with Mr. Percival Irinchi and Mr. Michael Kwame Mante, they shared their experience as students who were engaged in building a monument that size.
Oh, the experience was mind-boggling, it was mind-blowing, because it's not every day you get to work on something for the school that will stand tall like this. If you ask me, this is going to remain forever, unless they get tired and they want to destroy it. And my name is embedded on the plaque that is going to remain forever. It's not as if it's one of those things where you write your name on the wall, I was here some. This one, my name is actually embedded here. I didn't have to go and write, I was here some. So the experience was great. We were tired, we got stressed up because the deadline was short and we had to meet the deadline. But altogether, experience was great. The guys didn't make it boring. One time where it was getting tiresome, somebody would create fun, and we just went on with the work. We worked into the night, sometimes deep into the night, very early in the mornings we were working. But you know, the desire and the demand and the love for what we were doing and was great. It overshadowed everything that we went through. Did we get hurt? Yes, and all of that. But I think the experience was great. Yeah, to the maximum, yes, we did. To some extent, we did exactly what we had in mind to do. And to other extent, after doing it, when we started, it looked very colossal. I mean, it looked very huge for us to do. We were looking at the time, we were thinking through, can we execute this thing in a given time? It looked a bit impossible to a little degree. But after executing it, we had wished we had done it even bigger than this, because we felt now the space is good, the airspace is big. I mean, we can still go higher, we could have gone higher, we should have done higher. But then goes again to talk about the funds, and then again goes to talk about the materials.
Yeah, I think what should be done is more education should go out there, especially most of them don't even know the meanings of the logo and all those. I think when we start introducing such interesting discussions among the students on their various platforms, they'll get to know a lot and much more about the monument. Whoa, I think the place we were eating the fufu and then the bankus and what have you. But aside that too, there was this time where one of the moats nearly broke my legs, but all thanks be to God, we went through successfully. Okay, the lifting of the various parts of the moats, especially we were 6, you know, so it was at times we need to seek help elsewhere, and even with them,
it wasn't easy lifting. Mostly it was man-powered until we brought the work on site. So I think those were the little challenges, and also it got to some time where I wanted to rest, but we had to do overtime, 6 to 6, some 6 to 10, and all those kind of stuff. I think those were some of the challenges. Yeah.
The Tower of Excellence Monument ideally serves as a complement to the beautification of the ultra-modern student center. However, the Tower of Excellence symbolically represents the crest of the university, academic excellence as a core value, and the runabout ironically serving as a vehicular and pedestrian movement at its location. As huge and powerful as a monument this size and height is, most students, however, not all, upon investigation and research, seem to have no idea about its meaning and significance to the school. To some students, it is just a tall and beautiful structure which poses as a nice location for taking pictures.